Hey guys, and welcome to today's First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at the brand new Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Daemon Hunters game, which is an RTS iteration on the franchise. It is quite simply a cinematic masterpiece. It looks incredible, the cinematic scenes tell the story really well, the voice acting is good. And I'm happy to report that the RTS segments of this game are actually pretty good as well. There is a lot to unpack here. There is a lot to this game. There's many different options and different things that you can do within the game. So I'm not going to waste too much more time. What I will say is that I'm very early in, barely out of the first tutorial. And I want to put a spoiler notice up fairly early on as well in the campaign, the way that it works. There's probably going to be some cinematic features, if you like, that I don't really want to cut out because I want to let you guys see just how good this game looks with the cinematics. So if you don't want spoilers, probably best to just keep an eye out for that. So, as always, we'll look at the settings first, and then we'll jump into the gameplay. Alright then, so the settings. Now, two important things to note here. The first is that if you're on a single screen monitor or if you're on a multi-monitor setup, every time that you Alt-Tab out of the game, it will pause it, which is weird considering we're in a menu. Don't quite know why they've opted for that, but here we are. That means that when you're in the game as well, this will do the same. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this menu before we got into the actual options there are, is when you change the graphics preset, it kind of changes and loads it every time, which is really frustrating. It takes a while. The loading on this game in general is really not good. It takes a long time to load into anything. When you're looking at the actual style of the game and how graphically beautiful it is, it makes sense. But if they could work on the optimization to generally make that not be a thing, that would be great. However, the actual settings you've got are actually pretty well thought out and I'm very impressed. You've got your accessibility options here with language and cinematic subtitles on or off. You've got your audio. Master volume is set at 50%, which is really nice to see. It's not going to blast your ears out, and the type of game this is, if you've got a headset on and at full whack, it's going to do that. You've got your dialogue volume, sound effects volume, music and master. And then you've got your combat events, so you can have those on always, and same with your ship events. With the combat events, you might want to turn those off a little bit and go through the options and turn them to, never, sometimes, or always. Just because they do take quite a while and, once you've seen them once or twice, they're going to get a bit old very quickly. I'm going to put them on to always for the purpose of this video so you can see all of the animations as they happen. Your graphics options, you've got your resolution, screen mode, brightness, VSync on or off. Motion blur is on by default. You're going to want to turn that off. Bloom, and then you've got your graphics preset, and then your AA texture quality, model quality, shadow quality, clip distance, debris amount, and debris lifespan. Now, I would like to see a few more graphic options here. This game is going to be incredibly graphic intensive on your system, so you're going to, more options is always better. I would also like to see some ray tracing on this game. I think ray tracing on this game would be incredible with all the lighting and stuff that they've got going on. I think it could really add to that. Your interface options, again, you've got all your different displays here, and I like the fact that on the right hand side of the screen it shows you what that actually is and what it looks like and what it does, which means that you're going to be able to see what you're switching on and off. You don't see that very often in games, and especially with an RTS like this, you're going to want those options to be able to see what it is you're actually removing from the screen. You've then got your cursors, so you can change the size and style of it, which is really cool. I quite like the stylized one, so we're going to keep that on. And then you've got your content options on here as well. I don't really know what this is because it's just unlock content 1075. It doesn't really do any explanation, but I'm sure that will become apparent as we unlock more in the game. You've then got keyboard and gamepad controls. The gamepad controls can't be rebound, unfortunately, but your keyboard controls obviously can. You're not really going to need that many, as with any RTS. It's generally going to be your mouse that you're going to be using. 9 times out of 10, but it's nice that they've got a gamepad option as well, because I'm fairly sure this is going to be out on console. Then you've got your story cinematics, that's grayed out. I don't know what you're going to be able to change from there. And then you've got your codex here as well, so you can look at all your different concepts and stuff like that, which is really, really cool, and I like the fact they've added it. So they are a very, very, very intensive options menu that I'm very happy to report is very well fleshed out, very well thought out, and overall pretty good. I'm going to look at the options for starting a new game now to show you all the different difficulty settings, and then we're going to jump into the gameplay of where I am, and I will try and show you as much as possible with as few spoilers as possible. Let's jump into it. Alright then, once you start a new game, or once you select to start a new game, you can select your difficulty, and what's really nice is, again, on the right hand side it will show you what those difficulty settings change. And then you've got Grandmaster mode here, which disables manual saving, so you can only wait for it to save at certain points. And then you can have the tutorial on or off. I really like the artwork of this game. Again, this is my first iteration or first time jumping into a Warhammer 40k game, and so far I am very, very impressed. Once you've selected those, you will go either in tutorial or straight into the first mission. But yeah, it's a nice starting option. There's plenty of accessibility here. There is no reason why you have to have a very difficult game right from the offset. So I like the fact that they allow you to make it as difficult or as easy as you so desire. Let's see what the game actually plays like. Alright then, so this is your ship. You have a number of options down here that you will be able to access later on. Generally you've got your stratagem, which is where you can look at any officers that have the ability to be promoted that you can look at from there. You've got your star chart, which will allow you to dictate where you're going and will show you any obstacles that you're going to get coming up later on. You've got your manufacturing, which we haven't seen yet. We're still very early game. And then you've got your Liberus Malleus, which again we haven't seen anything of this early into the game. You can see the objectives of your mission on the right hand side. You can see what day you're on, and you can see a little brief introduction to the mission you're about to go into that gives you an idea for what it is you've got to look forward to and what you've got in store. And again, I just want to appreciate how good this game looks. This ship looks absolutely incredible and flawless. The cinematics in this game are phenomenal. But let's jump in and see what the RTS actually plays like. Alright, we're in the game. So this works as a very typical RTS. It's turn-based, you have a grid, you've got a certain amount of AP that you can use per turn, and you have to complete the objective. In this instance, it's just kill all the enemies. As you can see, the enemies have got abilities going on as well. They've got this cone effect, which is very similar to ours, where if you walk in it, you are going to get shot. So you're going to be wanting to stay out of the way, find some cover. There is a cover system. You've got full and partial cover. Friendly fire does seem to be a thing as well. And as you can see, I've got my enemy units here. So we're going to move them around here. I'm going to move. It is important to note that you will need to double click or confirm your movement before you activate it. And we're going to go ahead and shoot you. We're going to go with Psychic Onslaught. And we're going to confirm. So, and then you see these really awesome, like, abilities and cinematics that come with a move. And there is a lot of explosions and there's lots of flashy, and it's kind of awesome. I'm a big fan. Cool. We are still in the tutorial stage, so what that means is that we're going to get a lot of prompts and a lot of pop-ups and stuff as we go. So I'm very happy with you. We're going to move you down here to there, and then hopefully I should be able to shoot one of these as well. Apparently you can climb up as well, which is kind of cool. We're going to put you, we're going to shoot at you, we're going to go with another Psychic Onslaught, we're going to confirm. And this here is why I think that you will probably want to turn the animations to sometimes or off, because it takes up a lot of time. And again, once you've seen the animation once and enjoyed how cool it is, for it to do it every time, I think would get quite, it would overstay its welcome, and nobody wants anything to overstay its welcome. And this is the game, like this is the RTS. You've got your abilities down here, you've got your, you know, your HP and all that. You can revive enemies, or enemies will revive on their own after 3 turns. So it depends whether you've got a healer in your team or not. And then throughout the game, throughout the campaign, you will also end up with champions or main characters that you can then control with their own special abilities, especially as you go through story missions. I really like this game. I am not a Warhammer veteran, anything, you know, far from it. I'm very much a noob to the genre. So why can I not move? Focus on moving you. Okay. There we go. Moving. Yeah, so I'm not accustomed to the story or anything like that, but I really like the game. The game looks fantastic. It looks incredible. It plays smooth. It runs really well. If you're used to RTSs, I think that this will probably be a bit more simple than what you're used to. It will, you know, it's not very complicated in the way that it works. But at the same time, if you're new to the genre, it's going to be fairly challenging in that you're going to have to work everything out. But it does a very good job at teaching you so far. So there you go, guys. This is the brand new Warhammer 40k game that came out yesterday. Go ahead and check it out. Let me know in those comments down below what you think, and I will see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.